By the late 1960s and into the 1970s, the United States entered a period of profound upheaval politically, culturally, economically, at a time when many Americans felt that the fabric of their society was beginning to fray. The chapter opens by depicting how events like the Altamont Free Concert in 1969, once intended to capture 1960s idealism, instead revealed violence, disillusionment, and decay. The long, costly, and controversial Vietnam War played a central role in the unraveling. Televised images of brutality, the credibility of gap between what officials claimed and what was actually happening, and events like the Tet offensive shook public confidence. Domestically, the Living Room War brought the horrors of conflict into American homes and catalyzed widespread protests. In parallel, the civil rights movement and broader social change faced new fractures. The energy of the early every time 1960s gave way to frustration. The assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In 1968 continuing urban unrest and the rise of movements such as Black Power signaled that the path forward was less certain than many hoped. Cultural norms were challenged. Gender roles, sexuality, race, class, each faced pressure. At the same time, many Americans felt threatened by the pace and direction of change, leading to growing calls for law and order. Politically and economically, the 1970s brought their own crises. Yeah. The presidency of Richard Nixon saw major diplomatic shifts. For instance, with China and the USSR, but was undone by the Watergate scandal, which deeply eroded public trust in government. Economically, the post-war boom was sputtered. Industrial decline in once dormant regions, rising international competition, inflation paired with stagnation, and energy crisis all combined to unsettle the economic foundations of American life. Sounds like. Together, these strands, war, social unrest, economic distress, cultural fragmentation, created a sense that the American project was coming undone or unraveling. The chapters show how hope and optimism gave way to cynicism, how faith in its institutions waned, and how the consensus of the post-war era fractured. In doing so, it set the stage for the transmissions of the 1980s and beyond. I promise I can read. I just have a lisp.